Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I'm a preacher at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. And I want to thank you for joining me today as we open up the Bible and study the Word of God. Today, we are in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, which is, for the most part, just simply dealing with marriage. A lot of stuff in here as you go through it, talking about the faithfulness of the husband and wife, talking about how they are to stay together as much as possible. It depends on them to do so, even to the point of staying with one who is not in the same faith, an unbeliever. And so we are to make sure we continue to put all things first with our husband and wife, that we consider each other in Bible context, that we treat this marriage as we ought to, as God designed it to be. And again, at the end, talking about how a wife is to be bound as long as her husband lives, and vice versa. And so sometimes we often avoid going over these first 5 verses, but I'm going to go ahead and try to just do a short talk on it, as it talks about one of the other things in a marriage. And so if you will, with me, 1 Corinthians 7, starting with verse 1. It says, "Now concerning the things about which you wrote, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. But because of immoralities, each man is to have his own wife, and each woman is to have her own husband. The husband must fulfill his duty to his wife, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise also the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Stop depriving one another, except by agreement for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer and come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control." When we go back to the beginning of time, and God created Adam, and he placed him in the garden, and as he went forth, before he created Adam, he created all other living creatures, right? He was creating all the animals upon the land on the same day that he created Adam. He also created the fish of the sea and the birds of the air the day before. And as you go through that, it says a male and it's female, right? And then it comes to Adam. He created Adam, placed him in the garden, and said that there's not a helpmate comparable to him. There was no one for Adam to have a relationship with. And so therefore God said it's not good for man to be alone. This is one of the reasons that God created women, is that God made it where man and women are compatible with each other, that we are able to take care of that sexual desire and have that fulfilled, so that we do not get caught up in our passions and doing things against the will of God, against the way God naturally designed us. And again, as people might do things with animals, because that had been all that was there for Adam, or with other men. That is not the way God designed it to be. And so therefore, to keep that under control and keep us from having those thoughts and going in the wrong direction, that man and women are not to keep themselves away from their spouse. That you are to give yourself. The only reason it gives us here is that it says, unless by agreement. Understand, you've agreed with each other, saying, I'm going to go through, maybe you're going to go through a fast, and you're going to dedicate a time period that you are praying and studying the Word of God. And so therefore you've agreed with each other to take a certain amount of time apart so that you can be fully focused. But then it says after a time, come back together, so that, again, those passions do not get out of control, that we don't start looking elsewhere, we don't get caught up in lusting and coveting after other things, other people, but that the marriage stays strong together. And so a man and a woman, husband and a wife, they are to come together and help each other. This is one of those things that we help each other. Just one of them. I understand we help each other with a lot of other things, but don't let us neglect this also. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that everybody has a blessed day. Lord's willing, I will talk to you later.